You know, children, there are nights when the sky above our village feels so close that you can almost touch the stars. I have lived many seasons under that sky, and I thought I had seen everything the heavens could show us. But one night, one unforgettable night, I witnessed something that I still carry in my heart like a secret flame. That happened many rains ago, when our millet fields were tall and golden, and the drums of the harvest festival had only just fallen silent. Our village of Ndalini, with its red earth paths winding between round mud huts with thatched roofs, was quiet beneath the moon. The goats had curled into themselves, the fires in the hearths had died down, and the only sound was the cricket's endless song. That was when the star fell. I was sitting with old Baba Chikond near the baobab tree. We were chewing roasted groundnuts and speaking of the old days when we saw a streak of light tear across the heavens. It was brighter than any shooting star I had ever seen. It was like a spear of fire thrown by the ancestors themselves. And then, instead of vanishing, it crashed into the edge of the forest, just beyond the river bend. The ground shook lightly beneath us. The night birds took flight. Baba Chikond gasped, his old eyes wide. The sky has lost one of its children. The next morning, the whole village buzzed with whispers. The children ran to the river, pointing, claiming they saw smoke among the trees. Hunters returning from the bush spoke of a glow that pulsed faintly like an ember hidden in the grass. But none of us dared go near. Not yet. You see, in our customs, when something falls from the sky, it is not for men to touch lightly. It is first for the elders, then for the diviner to speak. But not every creature in the village was bound by such rules. For in the bushes near the river lived a rabbit, small and quick, with fur as brown as the soil and eyes that shone with mischief. We called him Kiboko, though he was no hippopotamus, of course. It was just a name the children gave him, because he was always bold, always barging into places where he should not be. When Kiboko ran, he moved so fast that dust rose behind him like a whirlwind. That is why, in time, he came to be called Rocket the Rabbit. That very night, when the moon was thin and silver, I saw him go. I had gone to fetch water from the clay pot outside when a rustle caught my ear. There he was, Rocket the Rabbit, crouched at the edge of the village, nose twitching, eyes fixed on the forest where the star had fallen. Before I could blink, he darted off, his legs beating the earth like drums. Curiosity, children, is a fire that even animals cannot put out. I followed him quietly, staying in the shadows. When we reached the place, I saw it with my own eyes. There, nestled in a circle of scorched grass, was a star. Not as big as the moon, no, but large enough to make Rocket look small beside it. It glowed faintly, a light that pulsed like the breathing of a sleeping child. Rocket crept closer. The star made a sound, a soft hum, like the whisper of a flute. And then, to my amazement, Rocket touched it with his little paw. The star flickered. It trembled. And then, like a bird recognizing a friend, it rose gently and began to follow him. Yes, children, you heard me correctly. That fallen star followed Rocket the Rabbit. For days after, I saw them together. Rocket would run across the red paths of Ndalini, and the star would bounce after him, floating just above the ground, glowing like a lantern at dusk. At night, when the huts grew dark, the children would giggle and sneak out to chase the rabbit and his glowing companion. Mothers scolded them, fathers shook their heads, but even the sternest among us could not hide a smile. The star brought wonder, but it also brought worry. Some feared it was a sign of drought. Others thought it was a blessing from the ancestors. And some whispered that the star would never find its way back unless it was guided. One evening, the elders gathered in the meeting hut. The air smelled of burning shea butter lamps, and the drum outside beat slowly. Elder Nyasha, her voice deep and steady, spoke, "The star does not belong to us. It belongs to the heavens. But the heavens have chosen Rocket to be its companion. What shall we do?" Silence filled the hut. Then Baba Chikond said, "Let the rabbit lead. Perhaps he knows the path better than we." So it was decided we would follow Rocket and the star on their journey. And so, children, I walked among them, our entire village moving like a caravan at night. Rocket darted ahead, the star floating behind him, casting silver light on our faces. We crossed the river where the frogs croaked loudly. We passed the termite mounds that rose taller than a man. We entered the savannah, where the tall grass brushed against our legs and fireflies blinked like 1,000 tiny stars. For 3 nights, we followed. And each night, the star grew brighter. It was as if it was remembering its home in the sky. On the 4th night, we reached the foot of the sacred hill. The drums stopped. The elders raised their staffs. Rocket stood still, his ears twitching. The star floated higher, glowing stronger, until it was as bright as the moon itself. Then, with a sound like a deep sigh, it rose. Higher and higher, until it rejoined the sky. The whole village fell to the ground, pressing our foreheads into the earth. The children wept, not from sadness, but from awe. And Rocket, Rocket looked up for a long moment, then simply twitched his nose and hopped away as if nothing had happened. But we all knew. That is why, even today, when a star shines especially bright above Ndalini, we say, "Look, Rocket's star has come home." And when the children run too fast down the red soil paths, kicking up dust as they go, we laugh and say, slow down, or you will run like Rocket the Rabbit and chase the stars from the sky. To come back and tell the story, I hope you enjoyed the story.